On the night of October 10th, 1923, two histories were being made in our region. Just over the state line in Oregon, in a shack perched atop the Southern Pacific Rail Line's Tunnel 13, the three Dotremont brothers were hunkered down in the cloak of night, reviewing their plot to rob the San Francisco Express mail car as it passed through the tunnel the next morning. Earlier that evening, 21 luminaries along Humboldt Bay had just met at the one-year-old Eureka Inn with members of the Rotary Club of San Francisco to help launch the Rotary Club of Eureka, Humboldt County's first of its kind. For the Dotremont brothers, their plan went tragically awry. 4 people were killed on the train when their explosives did more damage than expected. And after a 4-year manhunt across the U.S., they would be captured and spent most of their lives in prison. While catching headlines and the attention of Hollywood at the time, their selfish act of hubris has largely faded to the annals of esoteric history. The Rotary Club of Eureka, on the other hand, has not at any point in the intervening 100 years ceased to provide acts of tremendous service and goodwill to the people of Eureka and to the world. In 2023, the city of Eureka and the other clubs of Rotary District 5130 celebrate the Rotary Club of Eureka's century of unwavering commitment to service, integrity, world understanding, goodwill, and peace. Eureka was a lot different than it is today on October 10, 1923. Some of the 21 charter members could have easily taken an electric streetcar to the Eureka Inn for that informational luncheon. The Queen City of Salt and Fog is still remote, but 100 years ago it apparently took the San Francisco Rotarians 2 days and 4 blown tires to reach their destination. The effort was worth it. A few weeks later, another one of the first 1,000 Rotary clubs in the world was chartered, the Rotary Club of Eureka, just 16 years after Paul Harris and 3 other Chicago businessmen began rotating meetings between each other's offices in the Windy City. Thus was born a tradition of service to our region that is carried on today by 9 Rotary clubs and over 400 active Rotarians, in addition to dozens of other service clubs and organizations. Starting in 2021, the Rotary Club of Eureka began honoring each of the 21 charter members with a Paul Harris Fellow Award. Established in 1957, the Paul Harris Fellowship recognizes Rotarians who have contributed at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation or have had that amount given in their honor. The Rotary Foundation supports international projects, particularly polio eradication, through Rotary International's 7 areas of focus. In 100 years, the Rotary Club of Eureka has inducted approximately 1,200 members who have volunteered, conservatively, 1.5 million hours of service to the community and given millions of dollars to local, national, and international projects. This includes doing what they could to support their struggling neighbors and community during the Great Depression while their own businesses floundered, to the modern day with support for fellow clubs impacted by wildfires. Among the most significant funding sources has been the Sign and Ruth Smith Fund. Sign Smith joined Rotary in 1928 and, remarkably, had perfect attendance for 69 years. Before he passed away, he and his wife established their estate as a sustaining community grant fund that has contributed over $700,000 to efforts throughout the county, with another $100,000 award recipient to be named this evening.
Fascinated me too, and I hope it hasn't unfascinated you.
The Cathedral of Local History that is the Humboldt Room upstairs at the Humboldt County Library was made possible by $100,000 from the Rotary Club of Eureka. The Cardiac Unit at St. Joe's, Bloodmobiles for the Northern California Community Blood Bank, and the Humboldt County Science Fair have had ongoing benefits to our area thanks to significant support from the club and its members. Since 1948, the Rotary Club of Eureka has sent and hosted students to and from all corners of the world on cultural exchanges. While life-changing for these students as individuals, the impact of foreign exchanges also extends to the many host families and classmates who shared in those experiences. Due to institutional humility and the passage of time, there are certainly many projects and efforts completed by the Rotary Club of Eureka that have been lost to history. If they were still around to ask, the beneficiaries of those forgotten projects may answer that the project that helped them, that benefited their corner of the community or the world, was the most important project in the history of the club. For the people sitting here in this room, and for the hundreds of past members of the club, the most significant impact of the Rotary Club of Eureka to them likely isn't commemorated on a plaque with a rotary wheel. It's the fellowship fostered between club members, the experiences shared, the milestones celebrated, the children and grandchildren welcomed to the world, the loved ones honored and eulogized. It's that Rotary pin on your shirt really means something when a fellow Rotarian spots it in some far-off land. It's that the common ground shared by all Rotarians, that commitment to service, to building goodwill, better friendships, and a better world, outweighs any conflicts or political differences that may exist outside of our meetings. And what a great assurance regarding the past and future hope for humanity than the fact that after 100 years of mind-boggling technological, political, and social change, we gather here today in October of 2023 committed to the same motto that was shared with those 21 men at the Eureka Inn on October 10th, 1923. Service above self.